Well, good morning. This is my last day away. I'll be home in familiar surroundings for my thought for the day tomorrow. But it's lovely. It's been lovely to keep up with you while I've been away. We're looking at a bit of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 28. In my new Revised Standard Version, it says, "Do not say to your neighbour, 'Go and come again, tomorrow I will give it,' when you have it with you." I think that echoes the thoughts of Jesus when he told the story of the friend who came came at midnight and asked for help, and the one who was asleep in bed in the house refused it, even though he had food in the house to share. Do not say to your neighbour, "Go and come again." And in James it says, don't say to somebody who hasn't got something, "Eat, drink, and be merry," to the poor, when you can share what you've got. We must be prepared at any moment to offer assistance to people around us, to be what we can be for them when they're struggling and they need something. And then the next verse says, "Do not plan evil against your neighbour who dwells trustingly beside you." Don't plan bad things for your neighbour. Don't plot. Not a good idea. We're supposed to love our neighbour as ourselves. And Proverbs is full of things like this, which show that the whole of the Old Testament is written with the same hand, of many different authors, but with the same hand as the New Testament. Do not contend with a man for no reason when he's done you no harm. There's a lot of that about these days, isn't there? You know, there are people who are aggressive on the phone with no reason. You've never met them, you don't know them, but they ring you up and they're asking you perhaps something, I don't know, and they're cross with you before they start. We mustn't be like that. We mustn't contend with someone for no reason. We mustn't pick a quarrel. Don't pick a quarrel. Picking a quarrel is easy. You know, when you've had a bad day, or there's a lot of things going on in your life and things are not easy. It is possible to be short and sharp and grim and unpleasant to everyone because things aren't going your way. We mustn't be like that. We must be people whose every moment speaks of Jesus. You know, people judge us. They judge Jesus and Christianity by the things that we do, by our reactions to situations, you know, and we need to be careful how we live our lives and what we're like when we're not in church and when there isn't somebody watching us. See what we're like when we're on the phone. What is our manner on the phone? How do we behave to those irritating people who ring us up and try and sell us stuff on the phone? How do we treat them? They are human beings and they need saving just as much as anyone else does. Is there a way you can use those irritating phone calls to actually talk about Jesus to somebody? After all, they're trying to sell you something. They could jolly well listen to what's on your heart. It's an interesting thought, isn't it? We can always change the way we respond to people. We don't have to do things the way we've always done them. So those 3 verses are interesting ones. And the next verse after it, "Do not envy a man of violence and do not choose any of his ways." We mustn't copy people who are violent. Gentleness, self-control, they are part of the fruit that the Spirit produces in us. In that list of fruit of the Spirit, there's nothing like aggressiveness, bravery, contention, getting your own way. No, it's about self-control. It's about yielding. It's about kindness and goodness. So let me just read those verses again. These are the verses to think about today. "Do not say to your neighbour, 'Go and come again, tomorrow I will give it,' when you have it with you. Do not plan evil against your neighbour who dwells trustingly beside you. Do not contend with a man for no reason when he has done you no harm. Do not envy a man of violence, and do not choose any of his ways. Good advice. The scripture is full of good advice. It's good advice that we must think about. And next time we're in a situation where we think we envy someone because they've got on well in life, but the way that they have chosen to do that has been aggressive and violent and self-seeking, we mustn't emulate them. We are disciples of one who never put himself first. We are disciples of the one who gave all his time to others. Even when he was really, really tired at the end of the day, he still ministered to the crowd that was following him. He gave and gave and gave and gave again. And that is the model that we want to disciple. So, God bless you. Have a great day today. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.